My last video on where to live in Dayton, Ohio gives you a good overview of 10 suburbs. But if you're moving to Dayton, Ohio and still want to explore more, you've come to the right place. I've been getting a lot of feedback, some from folks saying they hate Dayton and you should never move here, but mostly it's folks who live here and are surprised or even offended that I left their favorite area out of the last video. Well, I knew off the bat that I wouldn't be able to cover every area, and this video is no exception. In this video, I'm going to pull out just a handful of some southern suburbs plus a few others that I missed on the last one. If you haven't seen the first video, you might want to go back after you watch this and catch up, because in it, I go over my personal top 10 suburbs. I created that video in a warmer month, and this one I'm creating in January in Ohio, so I can tell you that there's going to be a lot less on-the-ground video footage because I'm just not that into Ohio weather. And friends, there's another little freebie for you. If you are coming from Florida or Georgia or Texas or Alabama or California or any other warmer state, you might just want to gear up before you move to Ohio and experience a winter here. Now, we aren't Alaska or North Dakota or Minnesota, so you don't have to prepare for a snow tundra or anything. Although I did just get a warning on my phone last week for a snow squall. Yes, a snow squall warning. I didn't even know that that was a thing, and it lasted just a few minutes, but apparently there is a thing, and it's weird, and apparently you'll occasionally find it here in Ohio, even though that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. Anyway, if you are moving from those colder states, we're going to feel like tropics here with our 20 to 30 degrees instead of negative 15 or 20 or whatever. Okay, I kind of got off the subject here. If you are moving to Ohio and you haven't caught my Buy a House in Ohio video, you might also want to check that one out. You may learn a thing or two that you didn't know before, and it's always nice to know about those 17-year cicadas before you buy a house in the woods here and think that you're in a horror movie. Check out that here, and there's also another link here I'll put it in the comments, and there's a couple moving to Ohio videos, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm not afraid to tell it like it is. So getting back to today's topic, I am going off the comments from my first video, and I'm hitting up all of the areas that folks were asking about, which are Huber Heights, Trotwood, Centerville or Washington Township area, Springboro, Miamisburg, and Xenia. Fair warning, that is not every suburb. So if you have another one that you think needs to be covered, by all means, write a comment. Let me know which ones that you think should make the list and which ones you don't think should be on there. And if you're moving here and you're reading the comments, just know everyone has their own opinion. For everyone who says that they love an area, there's going to be another who hates it. So really, it's going to boil down to you and your preferences, and I'm just trying to give you a bit of an overview and inside scoop. Also, a few corrections from last video. I said that Beaver Creek was in Montgomery County, but it is in Greene County, along with Fairborn. Also, I guess that I said Vandalia was south of Kettering, but it is north. Sorry, I get my norths and my souths confused, but that's why I will also show it to you on a map. Also, if I say a city is bustling, listen, we aren't in New York City, friends, or even Cincinnati. So that just means that it's not a cow town, okay? And there's probably more shopping, maybe a mall or a movie theater or a grocery store. Sorry, that's a little dig on my hometown of Tip City. I love it, but as of right now, we don't have a grocery store and we have hundreds of banks, so it's a running dialogue on the city pages. Friends, I am in a mood today. All right, let's get started, shall we? For each of the 6 suburbs we're exploring today, I'm gonna first give a brief overview of a few of the city's highlights, and then we're gonna look at niche.com school ratings and crimegrades.org map for the city, which shows lower crime in green and higher crime in red. As a realtor, I abide by fair housing law, and I can't give you my opinions on safety or schools in a particular area, but I can point you toward resources such as these where you can make those determinations yourself. Everyone has different expectations and comfortability levels when it comes to those things, and I don't want to influence those choices, nor am I allowed to do so, but I am happy to point you to places you can gather that information yourself. Using a resource tool available only to realtors we call RPR, we will also look at the median home value of each city or suburb compared to the county that it's in, and also compared to Ohio and the nation as a whole. Also using RPR resource, I'm going to scroll through some of the tabs that show a lot about areas' demographics, giving us information on education levels, population of children age groups, income brackets, occupations, presidential voting patterns, unemployment rates, average temperatures and snowfall. There's the AARP livability index, average commute times, and all of that kind of stuff. So things that a lot of people are always asking about, I'm going to just show in that report because it's a lot of things that I can't really comment on, but I can at least give you the information. All right, and the first up is the bustling town of Huber Heights. Huber Heights is a northeast suburb of Dayton, and 45424 zip code you'll find will be listed as Dayton or Huber pretty interchangeably, but Huber Heights has its own water department and school system and all that. Huber Heights real estate is unique in that the original developer had different home models that you'll find in duplicates all over the city. I'm going to link a website in the comments. It's pretty fascinating, and as a real estate agent, it makes comping values of homes pretty easy if you can find a recently sold home of the exact same model. Of course, there are many neighborhoods and areas built since the original development as well, including a lot of new construction builds in the Carriage Trails subdivision, which although it has a 45371 Tip City address and is part of the Bethel School District, uses the Huber Heights utilities, and it's closer to Huber's downtown than it is to Tip City. Huber has a ton of shopping and restaurants. You have Lowe's, Walmart, Target, and the Home Store. If you are looking for bargains, you have Burlington, you have Big Lots, Plato's Closet, Once Upon a Child, and you have Hobby Lobby, Rule King, Meijer. Meijer is kind of like an upgrade from Walmart and a downgrade from Target. Really, there's just way too many to name. Some of my favorite restaurants include What the Faux, Bibi Bop, and if you're into gyros and Turkish food, we just found this amazing place called Gyro Center. Seriously, the falafel is amazing. You won't be sorry. And if you like Thai food, there's this place called Siam Express that makes a mean curry or pad Thai. Okay, again, I could do this whole video just on shopping and food, and that's not what this video is about. Huber Heights is only 20 to 25 minutes away from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, making this a great place to call home if you work on base or if you're PCSing here. By the way, I am a military relocation specialist, so if that's you, please reach out. I love helping our men and women in service. Huber Heights is so close to rural areas, but also super close to Dayton, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. Huber Heights is both Miami and Montgomery County, so pay attention to that when it comes to property taxes, because Miami is a good bit less than Montgomery in that regard. Here is Huber Heights school grades on niche.com. Now, I know that C's don't always indicate the best schools, but I will note that C+ is pretty close to a B, and B school, you're going to see that that's the high school. So despite what these ratings say, I have heard a lot of good things from the residents of Huber Heights regarding their schools. Now let's look at crimegrades.org. So you can see that the green areas of the map have less crime and the red more, and various colors in between. Moving up northeast to Huber Heights, there is a variety of color on this map, mostly in the lower crime, with one patch of red there just southeast of Interstate I-70. You can see the median sales price in Huber Heights 45424 area code is around $224,000, which is up about 8% last year, so really increasing. The red line is the national, the yellow line is Ohio, the orange is the county, and the blue line is the city for future reference. So for Huber Heights 45424 zip code, it's falling very similar to the rest of the Dayton area and slightly under Ohio's values. And let's take a look at the demographics on the people tab. We have a population of around 47,000. We can see education levels with our 45424 Huber Heights area at the top there. So more high school graduates and associate's degree than the national average. You can see a pretty equal split of children's ages with middle schoolers at the top. And adult age groups, the largest group is age 35 to 54 in red, followed closely by 25 to 34 in yellow and 55 to 64 in green. Here we have a large population of households without children. The largest income bracket is that 75 to 100K, but a good amount is above 150. And there you can see the occupational categories and presidential voting patterns. Next, on the economy tab, we see median household income is around $78,000 and unemployment rate that follows the national and state lines pretty close. On our quality of life tab, we can see elevation, rainfall, snowfall, and days of sun, which isn't going to vary very much between these suburbs, but good to see if you're coming from a different climate. The AARP index is also there and won't change too much between suburbs, along with average commute times, with the majority of folks commuting 15 to 30 minutes for work. By the way, if you're looking for this kind of information on a particular neighborhood as you start to look for homes, I'm able to get pretty specific and offer neighborhood-specific reports to my clients when needed. That's especially nice when you're moving to Dayton from out of state and you have no idea what to expect. Okay, let's move on to Trotwood. Trotwood is an area that is more affordable than others. While Trotwood is developing its own retail landscape, residents benefit from nearby shopping centers in Inglewood and Clayton, offering a range of stores and services. I talked about that a little bit in the last one. It's also strategically located near Interstate 70 and 75, so Trotwood provides easy access to Dayton and the surrounding areas, making commutes straightforward. One resident of Trotwood said this: "I recently purchased a home in Trotwood and I love how quiet the neighborhoods are. I have no problem making the drive for a broader range of activities." And another said, "My husband and I purchased in Trotwood and it's very quiet in this area." Here's the school ratings map from niche.com. Although we do have a B rating in there, that is an early learning center. Let's look at the crime grade. Trotwood is northwest of Dayton and you're going to find a variety of colors correlating to both higher and lower crime. Not a lot of green, but also not a lot of red. So typically red areas are the higher volume and also more violent crime, where yellow and orange areas are more theft and vandalism. I know this map doesn't look great, but I do recommend that you research each property that you're interested in and even call the local police department to ask about that particular neighborhood, because Trotwood really is a way to get more bang for your buck if you're looking for a house. And speaking of that, the median sales price in Trotwood is only $138,000, which is below the national, state, and county values, and it's down 12.9% over this past year. Trotwood demographics, we have a population of 23,000, and here are the education levels by population. Population of children by age group, you have a larger proportion of elementary and middle school age, and adults, you have the largest population in ages 35 to 54 again, followed by older brackets of 55 to 64 in green and 65 to 74 in purple. The largest section of income is under 25K, with a significant portion of the population making between 35 and 75,000. And here are the occupation categories and the presidential voting patterns. Next, while it loads here, you have a median household income of 46,000, and the unemployment rate is slightly higher than the national, state, and county, but mirroring those trends. Quality of life, again, you can see the elevation, annual rainfall, days of full sun, AARP, livability index, and commute times. Again, with that 15 to 30 minute being the majority, but under 15 minutes and a 30 to 45 minute commute pretty much tying for second. Next, let's discover the charm of Centerville, Ohio, a core suburb of Dayton, located just 20 minutes southeast of downtown. Centerville offers the perfect blend of suburban tranquility and urban convenience, with easy access to major highways like Interstate 675. Commuting to nearby cities is a breeze. Centerville boasts a diverse real estate market featuring quality crafted single-family homes, townhomes, and condos across various neighborhoods. If you're looking for houses in this area, one thing to note is that both Centerville and Kettering are cities within Washington Township. Washington Township is known for its beautiful hilly neighborhoods and unique high-end homes. Outdoor enthusiasts will appreciate the more than 1,000 acres of green space managed by the Centerville Washington Park District, encompassing 50 parks. The largest, Leonard E. Stubbs Memorial Park, offers walking trails, inline skating rink, a modern playground, a disc golf course, and a community amphitheater. The city hosts vibrant community events throughout the year, including the Americana Festival on the 4th of July, which features a street fair, parade, 5K run, and fireworks, attracting up to 75,000 attendees annually. Families benefit from excellent education and opportunities within the Centerville Community School District, offering rigorous academic and a variety of extracurricular activities. I'll show you those ratings in a minute. Centerville is also very close to the Dayton Mall and all sorts of restaurants and shopping. Now, I said that there's excellent education opportunities, and here is that on niche.com, the school grade map showing all A's across the board. Crimegrade.org, we move southeast down from Dayton, and you see a lot of green and light green with some orange and yellow mixed in, a little bit of that darker orange, lighter red up there on top. So again, it's always best practice when looking for a home to research the particular address that you're interested in and that specific school district if that's important to you, or go check the sex offender list, call the police department if safety is a big deal for you, or there's a lot of great resources to pull from. If you have the luxury of getting to be able to come to this area before making a decision, it's great to go into the areas that you're considering at different parts of the day and just see how you feel about it. The median home price in Centerville is around $265,000. That's actually down by 22% over last year, according to this resource, which is odd. I actually don't think I trust that one. There are probably other influencing factors, but typically Centerville's value holds up well and mimics national value or slightly higher even. Sometimes you do see that kind of drop in value since they're based on averages. If a developer came in and maybe developed a large section of affordable housing, which we desperately need, so I wouldn't let that number deter you from buying in Centerville. Let's take a look at the demographics. Population around 25,000. Here are the education levels. We do see higher levels of bachelor and grad professional degrees. Children's population fairly equally distributed, greater proportion of toddlers and high schoolers. With adults population, we again have the largest section, that red color, 35 to 54. However, you can see that the next three older brackets are about equal. Majority of income is above 150,000. Occupation categories here, presidential voting patterns. Here's the economy tab. Even though the majority make over 150,000, the median income is resting at around 79,000, and unemployment rate is in line with the national and state averages. Quality of life, we see all those numbers we've seen before, the AARP, livability index, and commute times looking similar as well. Although 27% having less than 15 minutes for a commute is pretty great. Hey, in case this is the first time that you found my channel, my name is Lydia Rowe, and I'm a realtor here in Tip City, Ohio, which is a North Dayton suburb. And on this channel, we talk about all things living in the Miami Valley. So if you're thinking about moving here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop me a comment, and reach out if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help. Next on our list is Springboro. Springboro, Ohio is one of the most desirable places to live in Miami Valley, offering the perfect mix of small town charm and modern convenience. Located between Dayton and Cincinnati, Springboro provides easy access to major highways like I-75, making it a great choice for commuters. Like Huber Heights, the city spans two counties, only in this case it's Warren and Montgomery County. The city is known for its well-maintained parks and green spaces, including Gardner Park and Clear Creek Park, where residents enjoy walking trails, playgrounds, and community events. Downtown Springboro is a hub of activity with locally owned boutiques, coffee shops, and restaurants, blending historic charm with a vibrant atmosphere. Springboro also has a strong sense of community. Events like Christmas in Springboro and the popular Oktoberfest, bringing residents together year-round. The local food scene is another highlight, with must-try spots like the Donut House, Dorothy Lane Market, serving up delicious eats. There's this super unique little place called La Comedia Dinner Theater. My kids especially love going to eat and see shows there. While home prices are higher than some surrounding areas, which we'll see in a minute, they do reflect the city's high quality of life, strong property values, and well-planned neighborhoods. Whether you're looking for a historic home near downtown or a newer development with modern amenities, Springboro has a variety of options. Let's take a look at the school ratings. We have mostly A's with a few B's mixed in. Crimegrades.org. Springboro is pretty south of Dayton. In fact, it is considered a suburb of both Dayton and Cincinnati. So zooming in here, it looks pretty similar to Centerville, with mostly green, light greens, yellows, and oranges. The median value of the homes is currently at $436,000, which is a 3.8% increase from last year. You can see that blue line is above all three county, state, and national. So it's more pricey, but it's also known for maintaining its value. As far as demographics go, we have a population of 19,000. Education levels are higher on the upper education. There is a pretty even mix of children ages population. And for adults, we have a similar breakdown to Huber Heights, with the majority being that in the 35-54 bracket, followed by pretty close by a 25 to 34. Household income is higher than other suburbs we've looked at, and you can see the occupational categories and the presidential voting patterns here. Median income is $113,000, and unemployment is slightly lower than the national and state levels. Quality of life, we can see all that info, the AARP, and commute times. All right, next up is Miamisburg. Miamisburg, Ohio is a charming Dayton suburb that blends historic character with modern conveniences. With a population of just under 20,000, this community offers a relaxed suburban feel where most residents own their own homes. While it may not be as upscale as some surrounding areas, Miamisburg is known for its friendly, working-class atmosphere and strong sense of community. One of the city's biggest draws is its vibrant and revitalized downtown. Here, you're going to find great local restaurants like Bullwinkle's Top Hat Bistro, famous for its barbecue. You don't get over 2,000 positive reviews unless you're pretty good. And Bear Creek Donuts, a must-visit for sweet treats. Other favorites include Ron's Pizza, Bennett's Publical, and Three Dips Ice Cream. The area also hosts regular community events like the Spring Fling and the 4th of July celebrations, making it a lively spot year-round. Outdoor enthusiasts will appreciate the Great Miami Riverway bike trails, which runs through town, as well as the nearby Cox Arboretum for nature walks and scenic photography. For hiking and green space, Sycamore Trails Park and Mound Park, home to one of the largest Native American burial mounds in the country. Those are local favorites. And if you have a furry friend, Miamisburg now has its own dedicated dog park. The area offers a great mix of affordability, safety, and convenience, with plenty within walking distance, including the highly rated Miamisburg branch of the Dayton Metro Library. Whether you're looking for small town charm, great local dining, or easy access to Dayton's amenities, Miamisburg is a community that offers a little bit of everything. Let's look at niche.com school ratings. Here we have mostly B ratings. Crimegrades.org. Miamisburg is southwest of Dayton, so let's scroll down here. Okay, so a sea of colors in that mid-range with a lot of green, but also a lot of orange. Again, you just want to do your due diligence depending on your concerns and what you're comfortable with. These maps allow you to zoom way in and look at individual streets, so super helpful. The median home value is $278,000, up 4.5% from last year. And you can see the blue line hovering right below the national, but above the state and the county lines. And here are the demographics. We have a population of around 20,000. That seems to be the theme today. More in the middle on education levels in Miamisburg, not as many high schoolers as other children ages. And adults, we have the highest in red and green between 35 and 54, but a decent amount in that yellow 25 to 34 age as well. Largest income bracket is that middle 50 to 75,000. 100,000, but a decent amount in that 150 plus category. Here are the occupational categories and the presidential voting pattern. Median income is 74,000, which seems to be about the same for a lot of these suburbs, and unemployment mimics national and state averages. Quality of life, pretty typical to the others. Nothing really stands out here as different. There are 8% who commute 45 to 60 minutes, probably due to some of the working in Cincinnati or North Dayton areas where there's lots of manufacturing plants. Okay, last but not least, we have Xenia, Ohio, known as the city of hospitality. Xenia is a welcoming community that offers a blend of small town charm and modern amenities. With a population of approximately 25,000, Xenia serves as the county seat of Greene County and is strategically located 15 miles east of Dayton, providing residents with easy access to larger metropolitan areas, as well as super close to Yellow Springs, which is such a cute little town, John Bryant State Park, which offers some of the most beautiful trails in the area, and Young's Dairy, a classic can't-miss dairy farm that offers a variety of homemade ice cream, farm tours, and kids activities. There are many recreational opportunities available, including a nationally recognized bike trails that attract cycling enthusiasts here in Xenia. The historic downtown features quaint restaurants and small businesses, contributing to its unique character. The community places a strong emphasis on preserving its heritage while fostering a progressive attitude towards growth and development. Xenia offers a range of housing options, from newly developed subdivisions to restored historical districts and established neighborhoods, catering to diverse preferences and budgets. It's also pretty close to Fairborn and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, so similar to Huber Heights in that way. If you want to be close to base but not right there and you want a little bit more affordability, Xenia's not a bad place to look. Additionally, Xenia provides comprehensive municipal services including water, sewer, refuse collection, parks and recreation, police, fire, and emergency medical services. Now, not everyone considers Xenia a Dayton suburb just because it's a little further and there's farmland between downtown Dayton and Xenia, but it's close enough to the city that it's easy to get downtown, so I do consider it a suburb of Dayton. Let's take a look at the school ratings on niche.com. You have a mixture of B's and C's, so that puts it more in the average category of school ratings. Crimegrades.org map. Xenia is south, but it's a good bit east of Dayton if you take US Route 35, so it's not connected to any major highways, which is another reason some don't consider it a suburb. But here you can see a variety of colors on this crime map. Again, like several of the ones we've already looked at, median home price is $233,000, which is up by 4.6% over last year, and you can see that the blue line is below the others, so generally more affordable than other areas, but it stays in line with the national and state value. Let's throw up those demographics. As I mentioned before, the population is around 25,000, more average education levels, high school graduates and associate's degree. Children population breakdown's pretty evenly split. In adults, there's a higher population of the younger yellow bracket, but the largest is still that 35 to 54. You can see there's a large percentage of income that is under that 25K, and also at that 50 to 75 mark. Here are the occupational categories that you're going to see there mostly. Presidential voting patterns, median household income is lower than some of the other suburbs that we looked at 53,000, and the unemployment follows national and state trends, but is slightly higher in Xenia, as you can see of that blue line. Quality of life facts here, AARP index, and commute times. So there you have it, a few more great Dayton suburbs to explore if you're moving to Dayton, Ohio, or if you're already here and you're just considering a change. Which one is your favorite? If you haven't watched my first Dayton suburb video, check that out. If you'd like more in-depth neighborhood tours of my hometown, Tip City, make sure to check those out. Also, if you're moving here and you've never heard of a sump pump or of radon or cicadas, you might want to check out my other Moving to Ohio videos that I told you about. I'll link those in the description for you. See you next time.